Having you, a useless daughter-in-law, stay at a luxury hotel is such a waste. Her mocking laughter rang through the phone, leaving me in shock. Her arrogant attitude and her disregard for me brought a surge of anger. She always treated me like I was worthless. But this time, her treatment went beyond all limits. Watching the rest area fade into the distance, I realized I was completely alone. Just moments ago, I was with my family, and now I've been left behind. The mixture of confusion and fear washed over me, yet her cold words still lingered. You, who just sit around the house, don't deserve to stay at a hotel. My chest tightened. Despite my hard work, she never recognized my efforts. I actually ran an inn and managed everything with dedication, yet she seemed fixated on shattering my self-worth. I could hear relatives laughing on her end, amplifying my isolation. Her influence had turned the whole family against me. Even my husband wouldn't defend me. I felt anger and sadness sweep through me faster than I could process. The humiliation, the disregard, and now this outright betrayal. Her twisted face, her eyes filled with contempt, her obsession with pushing me away. It was all too much to bear. Something inside me snapped, and in that moment, a decision was made. No more tolerating this. I took a deep breath, holding my phone firmly. My fingers shook as I dialed, not from fear, but from long-suppressed anger. My heart pounded, with a strange combination of excitement and resolve building inside. Hello, I have a favor to ask. To my surprise, my voice was steady. This was the beginning of reclaiming my life, and it was also the start of an unexpected revenge. My name is Maya Smith, age 40, and I work as a manager at a large corporation. I met my husband Tom in our late 30s, and after dating for 6 months, we decided to marry. Initially, he was attentive and kind, but over the years, he grew indifferent. Now our conversations are minimal, and he barely notices my presence. Yet I carried on, accepting that perhaps this was just how things would be. One evening, while I was cleaning up after dinner, Tom suddenly spoke to me.
Hey Maya, I need to talk to you.
Oh, what's up? I answered with a smile, happy to finally hear him speak directly to me.
My family's planning a trip with about 20 relatives. They want me to handle the hotel reservations and organize the itinerary.
Really? That sounds like a big task.
Well, I'm busy with work and I know you have more days off, so could you take care of it? And find a cheap place since I'm paying for it all. If you're coming, pitch in too.
I work hard and keep up with my responsibilities even if I do have a bit more time off than Tom. Despite wanting to point that out, I was simply pleased that he asked for my help. Spending a trip with his family wasn't exactly appealing, but this was for my husband. Okay, I'll handle everything.
Thanks. Just pick a place that won't embarrass us in front of my family.
With that, he lay back on the couch, scrolling through his phone. I finished cleaning up, went to the bedroom, and made a call to a familiar place. Hi, it's me. I have a bit of a favor to ask. A few days later, Tom's parents arrived at our apartment. When I shared the travel plans with Tom, he'd insisted we invite them over to share the details. As they entered, Tom's mother, Elaine, began rummaging through my kitchen cabinets. Maya, are you seriously eating gourmet instant curry from the hotel? How indulgent. You should be cooking for Tom instead of living off things like this. Without asking, she put the curry packets into her bag. Every time she visits, Elaine helps herself to groceries, canned goods, and even home decor. Sometimes she even takes dishes or decorative items without asking. Tom's father, Rick, just watches and laughs as she does this. When I once tried to stop her, she snapped. Anything in my son's house is fair game. What's wrong with me taking it? Since then, I've stashed away my favorite items before they visit. After she finished shopping in my kitchen, she finally sat down. Timing it right, I shared the hotel details with them. Here's where we'll be staying. I pulled up the website of the recently opened luxury hotel I'd chosen and handed them my phone. Though it was a high-end hotel, I managed to book it under Tom's name at a discounted group rate. Elaine took one look and scoffed. Well, aren't you getting above your station? How are you affording this?
Maya managed to negotiate a group rate.
I thought she was useless, but I guess she can manage this much. Elaine's expression was haughty, making it clear she wasn't impressed. The truth is, that hotel was part of my own business. My family had operated a small inn, but after it was featured in the media, bookings surged. Recently, with an influx of foreign tourists, we expanded into a new high-end location to cater to international travelers. I've been managing the hotel ever since. Although Tom knew my family ran a business, he had no idea I was managing a high-end hotel. I'd keep this secret, fearing Tom would be threatened by my career success. Tom once complained about my income surpassing his, so I downplayed my career's scope. Over time, I resolved not to share the full story with Tom or his parents. I'm sure you'll love it. It's a lovely place with great hospitality.
We'll see. I'll keep my expectations low. Speaking of which, since we're here, let's do some shopping and maybe grab dinner at a nice restaurant.
Ignoring my offer to prepare a meal, they left shortly after. The day of the trip finally arrived. Tom, his parents, and I set off in his car, planning to meet the rest of the family at the hotel. Tom's mom, sitting in the back seat, couldn't resist throwing jabs.
Tom, isn't it time you replaced this old car? You shouldn't be driving around in something so shabby.
I'd love to, but it's not in the budget.
Oh, I'll pay for it. I can't stand the idea of my son driving such a clunker.
Really? Thanks, Mom.
Of course. We'll go to the dealership together next week and pick out something impressive.
He chatted away as if I weren't sitting right beside Tom in the front seat. Moments like these have become the norm with his family, though it didn't make it any easier.
You know, if only there were grandkids along for this trip. But well, I guess at this point it's too late to hope for that.
Well, that's what happens when you marry a woman already past her prime. Mom, Dad, can you not?
Tom didn't say much more, letting their hurtful comments fill the car. I kept quiet, staring out the window, regretting agreeing to come along. After a while, I quietly spoke up. Tom, I need to use the restroom. Could we stop at the next service area? Elaine rolled her eyes and scoffed from the back seat.
Couldn't you have gone before we left? This is why we'll end up late.
I'm sorry, I'll be quick. Tom pulled off at the service area, and I quickly went inside. The line for the women's restroom was long, and I worried I'd be holding everyone up. 10 minutes later, I finally emerged, hurrying outside to find nothing. Tom's car was gone. I glanced around, thinking maybe I'd somehow missed it. I called Tom, but he didn't pick up. Slowly, realization dawned. After a few more attempts to reach him, I called Elaine instead. She answered immediately. Hi, Elaine, it's Maya. I'm still at the service area. Did something happen?
Oh, we're already at the hotel.
Her voice was laced with disdain, but she continued without a hint of remorse.
You know, trips like these are for family. You're just an outsider tagging along.
My stomach clenched as her words sank in.
You're already spoiled with what my son provides, without working or contributing, so you can sit this one out.
Her laughter echoed through the line, mixing with the muffled laughter of other family members in the background. Before I could respond, she hung up. I stood there, the weight of her words sinking in, fighting a wave of despair. I'd worked tirelessly to organize this trip, even putting my own responsibilities on hold. And now I realized this might have been their plan all along, to leave me out. But feeling sorry wouldn't solve anything. I'd faced far worse as a hotel manager, handling crisis regularly. I took a deep breath, regained my composure, and made a call to the hotel. Hello, this is Maya. I have a reservation under Smith. Next, I dialed my personal assistant at the main office. Hi, it's Maya. I'm at the service area and need a ride to the hotel.
Of course, I'll send a car your way right away.
Relieved, I ended the call, knowing I'd soon be on my way. Meanwhile, as Tom and his parents continued their drive, Elaine was gloating.
That woman's never been a good fit for you, Tom. She's too old for kids and no real catch.
Mom, that's enough.
I'm just saying, you deserve someone who's actually a family person.
Tom sat silently, feeling conflicted, but he couldn't summon the courage to defend me any further. After Tom's family arrived at the hotel, they enjoyed the evening without a second thought about leaving me behind. The family settled into their luxurious rooms and gathered in the dining area for an elaborate meal.
Tom, you really went all out with this place. This hotel is known nationwide.
I hope it didn't cost too much.
Well, it was all handled. Maya took care of the arrangements.
You're paying, of course, like a good husband.
Tom was uneasy but remained quiet, trying to enjoy the moment. Early the next morning, they began to check out, assuming all charges had been covered. As they were gathering in the lobby, the manager approached.
Excuse me, here's your final bill.
Tom and his family exchanged surprised looks. Tom glanced at the bill and froze. The charges included a suite upgrade, additional services, and a special rate for the group.
Wait, why is this so much more than expected? I thought everything was handled with a special rate. I apologize, sir, but the discounted rate was only available with the presence of the owner.
The owner? Who's that supposed to be?
That would be Maya Smith, your wife.
At that moment, Tom's face fell, and a hush settled over the family.
You mean Maya owns this hotel?
The manager nodded, completely professional.
Yes, she's the owner. The special rate was voided when she wasn't present, so the total amount due now is $20,000.
Elaine paled, gripping her purse as if holding onto it could make the charges disappear.
Tom, do something. This must be some kind of mistake.
Tom, flustered, stammered.
I didn't know. I didn't realize Maya was the owner.
The manager held out the bill with a steady hand.
How would you like to settle this?
The other relatives began to murmur and shift uncomfortably.
So you didn't know she owned this place? And she paid for everything?
Tom couldn't look anyone in the eye. Meanwhile, I was making my way to the hotel, finally ready to face Tom and his family. When I arrived, I was greeted warmly by the manager.
Welcome back, Miss Smith. Everything has been handled as requested.
I took a deep breath and thanked him, then made my way to the lobby. As soon as I walked in, I spotted Tom and his family standing at the counter looking flustered. I approached them, my head held high. Good morning, everyone. I see you're having a lovely time. The shock on their faces was almost comical. Elaine tried to recover, her tone dripping with insincerity.
Maya, dear, we were just surprised. We didn't realize you were the owner here.
I'm sure you didn't, but I hope my outsider status no longer concerns you.
Maya, listen.
No, Tom, you listen. You left me behind because I wasn't family enough, but I'm the reason you're even here, and I paid for everything. They all fell silent, their eyes cast down. Now about that bill, no more discounts. Consider it payment for the years of disrespect. I turned and walked away, feeling a sense of closure as I left them to figure out how to handle the cost. Later that day, I decided to check out of my home hotel and head home, feeling ready to move on from Tom and his family once and for all. That was the last straw, and I knew it was time for a fresh start. Back in my suite, I packed my bags, reflecting on everything I had been through with Tom and his family. This trip had been a turning point for me, a realization that I deserved more respect and appreciation. The door to my suite opened as the manager entered, carrying a parting gift from the hotel.
Miss Smith, thank you for your continued partnership and for trusting us. We hope this is only the beginning of more successful ventures.
Thank you. This hotel is like a second home to me, and you've helped me make it truly special. As I checked out and left the hotel, I felt a powerful sense of freedom. Free from the past, free from the constant tug of others' expectations. In the days that followed, I officially filed for divorce, choosing to focus on my future and expanding the family business. I poured my energy into opening more luxury inns and pursuing dreams I'd put aside for too long. Surprisingly, news of my divorce and Tom's financial missteps soon circulated, but I was too busy to give it much thought. My new life was filled with purpose, community, and growth, surrounded by people who respected me and believed in my vision. On quiet evenings, I'd raise a glass to myself, grateful for the strength to walk away and build a life on my own terms. I'd finally reclaimed my happiness, and I wasn't looking back.